Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to push right past all that tired, old advice about retirement and build something totally different, something you can actually use. We're going to lay out a practical, mathematical plan for real financial freedom. This isn't about hoping or waiting. It's about calculating and doing.
Okay, let's dive right in. Because really, all of this starts with a huge shift in how you think. Our sources lay out two completely different mindsets. On one side, you've got the poor dad's mindset. This is someone who's focused on entitlements, pay raises, benefits, job security. The thinking is, hey, I've put in my time, I've worked hard, so my company or the government owes me. But then, there's the rich dad's mindset. And this isn't about getting a bigger paycheck, it's about building a bigger asset column. The entire game shifts from working for your money to having your money work for you. It's about building systems that generate income whether you show up to work or not.
So, what happens when you're stuck in that first mindset? Well, for most people, their financial plan is really just hope, right? They're just crossing their fingers, counting on a 401k to magically balloon, or for the stock market to just go on a wild run and make up for lost time. One of our sources puts it pretty bluntly. That's not a strategy, that's a wish. We want to get out of the business of hoping for a big pile of cash someday and into the business of building a system that provides for us starting today.
To get there, we've got a really clear roadmap for this explainer. First, we're going to tear down the old retirement myth. Then we'll redefine what financial freedom really means. After that, we'll look at your personal financial statement. Think of it as your financial checkup. Fourth, we'll get into the actual numbers of building your cash flow. Fifth, we'll put it all together to calculate your freedom number. And finally, we'll talk about your path to independence.
All right, section 1. Look, before you can build something new and solid, you have to tear down the old rickety structure. So let's talk about traditional retirement thinking and why, for so many people, it just doesn't work anymore.
The old goal, the one we've all been sold, is to spend decades climbing this giant mountain to get to a huge pile of money, a massive net worth number that you hopefully hit by the time you're 65. The problem? It's a totally abstract goal, and it makes you completely passive. You just put money in your 401k and pray that the market does all the heavy lifting for 40 years. It literally puts you in the passenger seat of your own life. So, if that old goal is broken, what do we replace it with? Well, the new goal isn't some fuzzy number decades down the road. It's a state of being, and it's defined by a simple, powerful equation that you can start using today. This right here is the absolute key. Financial independence is not about having $1 million. It's not about having $10 billion. It's a state where the income from your assets, your passive income, is greater than your monthly bills. That is it. It's not about how much money you have, it's about how much cash flow your assets produce. This little formula, passive income is greater than expenses, is the entire game.
And seriously, just pause for a second and let that sink in. Imagine what that would feel like. To have enough money coming in from your assets that you could just relax, you didn't have to worry anymore. That's the real goal. It's not some number on a spreadsheet. It's a feeling of security, of independence. It changes the goal from accumulation, which is slow and passive, to cash flow, which is something you can actively build and control, month by month, brick by brick.
Okay, so before we can start building that cash flow engine, we got to know where we're starting from. It's like a doctor needs to run some diagnostics before they can write a prescription. So let's look at the diagnostic tool for your financial life, your personal financial statement. According to our sources, these 7 numbers are basically the vital signs of your financial health. You've got income and expenses, and the difference is your cash flow. Then you have your assets and liabilities, and the difference there is your net worth. And finally, your credit score, which is pretty much just a report card on how you handle debt. If you want to change your financial situation, this is your starting point. You'll look at these 7 numbers and you ask, okay, which lever can I pull? Do I need more income, fewer expenses, more assets? This is your dashboard.
All right, we've done our checkup. We know our starting point. Now for the really fun part, building the engine. Let's get into the practical step-by-step math of how you can actually create a stream of passive income day by day.
Now, we don't need to try and hit a grand slam on our first at-bat. We don't need to aim for some unrealistic 100% return. The sources suggest something much smarter, much more powerful. Start with a simple, achievable goal. Just aim to make 1% in cash flow a month on your capital. That's it. If you can consistently hit 1%, you've proven the model works. Then you can work your way up to 2%. It makes the whole thing feel manageable, and it builds that crucial confidence.
So how do we actually get that 1%? We can break it down even smaller, into a daily target. And our sources point to 2 main ways to think about this.
On the left, you've got theta targeting, which is where you divide your monthly goal by all the calendar days, say 30. This is for assets that kind of work for you 24/7, even on weekends. Think rental income. On the right, you have delta targeting, which is more focused. You divide your goal by only the days the market is open, which is usually around 20 a month. This is for strategies where you're actively making moves to generate that income.
And this is where it gets really, really cool. This is how you take a big, kind of scary goal and turn it into a tiny daily habit. Let's use that delta method, the one based on trading days. So let's say you have a $40,000 account. Your 1% monthly goal is $400. Okay, that might still feel like a stretch. But when you divide that $400 by 20 trading days, your daily target is just $20. All of a sudden, your mission isn't make $400. It's make $20 today. That's such a powerful mental shift. It makes the goal feel completely doable.
So let's bring it all together. This is the big climax of this whole explainer. We've defined the goal, we've got our diagnostic tool, and we have our daily recipe. Now, let's calculate the single most important number for your financial independence. It's time to figure it out. What is your personal freedom number? What's the number that, once you hit it, means you are no longer chained to a job just to survive?
And here it is, the big reveal. Your freedom number isn't some crazy, far-off million-dollar goal. It's a number you probably already know or could figure out in about 10 minutes. It is simply your total monthly expenses. The money you need for your mortgage, your food, your bills, your car, all of it. That is the amount of passive income you need to be truly free.
Let's just put a real number on it to make it clear. Say you go through all your statements and find that your total, all-in expenses, come out to $5,200 a month. That's it. That's your number. That is your freedom number. Not $1 million, but $5,200 a month in passive income.
And now, we just plug our ultimate goal into that same daily recipe we used before. Your freedom number is $5,200 a month. You divide that by 20 trading days, and your new daily cash flow target is $260. The path is now crystal clear. It's just a math problem. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to build a system of assets that generates, on average, $260 every single trading day. That impossible dream of retirement just became a manageable, daily target.
So, now you have it all. You have the definition of freedom, the tool to see where you are, and the formula to get where you want to go. The very last piece of this puzzle is having the right mindset for the journey.
Look, this isn't about some single, lucky lottery ticket moment. It's a process. It's about waking up every single day and knowing there's something you can do, some small, smart action you can take to lay one more brick in that wall of your financial independence. It's about showing up and being consistent, day after day.
And this mindset right here is absolutely crucial. For the average person, when the market crashes, it's a total disaster. But for an investor who has a clear strategy and a cash flow mindset, it's a fire sale, it's an opportunity. Every challenge, every dip, every bit of volatility, it becomes a chance to acquire assets that produce income because you have a plan. You're not just hoping anymore.
So let's bring this all home. Financial independence is not some vague dream that's only for a few lucky people. It's a number. It's a number you can calculate today. It's a daily target you can start working toward tomorrow. You have the formula. So the only question left is, what's the first brick you're going to lay?